All right, we're back. I am Gav, that's Big, and we're going to talk about IPL, which is getting worse day by day, which I mean by like it started really, really well. Everybody was just, all the matches were tear jerkers, edge of the seat stuff, and now suddenly it's like boring. Boring. This is match is over, already over. And I kept complaining that everybody's taking bowling, and everybody's losing. Now, for the first time, some guy says, okay, we're going to take batting. We're going to listen to you, Bick and Gav. You've been yelling all your throats out and nobody's listening. We're going to do it. And then they score 142 or something. Was it 142? I'm not sure exact number. Yeah, it was 142. So, I mean, at least score 143. That at least says, I love you. And then they had a target 143. And they were like, oh, you're Indian. It's like 143. We're definitely going to chase this down. It's just really difficult to not really get to 143 unless the pitch is bad, and also you get lot of wickets at the beginning and other team starts panicking. None of those things really happened. They did lose a couple of wickets here and there, but yeah, it was just awkward. All right, today we're going to be doing the entire review of the week, but this week is like the Baker's Dozen, which is 12 plus 1, 13. That's Baker's Dozen. Anyway, in case somebody doesn't know. So this week is 7 plus 1, 8. So because today is the 8th day, today is the 8th match. And anybody who wins the toss actually loses the match, apart from the first match, which Chennai won the toss and elected to bat. Everybody has lost the... you win the toss and you lose the match. That's a very weird thing. Starting with the very first match, it was a very good match. I think Mumbai gave it away completely. Chennai pretty much did exactly what they always do. And it was a good victory at the end of the day because Mumbai started really, really well, and then they kind of did not accelerate, and I think they fell short of their target by around, they should have scored around 185. But that would have been par. Then you can say 10 runs, 15 runs here and there. So 170 to 200 was something I was looking for. 185 was a par. But I think they ended up scoring 160 or something like that. So it was not a very good first match. First 162 actually. I just saw the score, and then Chennai did what they did do very best, and as long as the score is not too strong, too high, they actually chase it down. So you want to talk about the second match, which was DC Delhi Chargers Capitals. Jesus Christ, I'm not gonna get this right, am I? So I keep thinking Chargers because there's somebody was Chargers, right? Deccan Chargers or something, and Punjab Kings people. Okay, 11. It says P, so I thought it was people. 11 people. So this match, Kings 11 somehow lost after pretty much everything Delhi was supposed to win. After Delhi was bad opening, lost a lot of wickets, then eventually put 157 on the board. And then Delhi was cruising, and then somehow, and also the umpiring blunder that happened, the short run which the Indian umpire called for, which was not a short run. So I'm not sure why are you calling it a short run if it's not a short run. If you're confused, why don't you get it checked? Because when the run out happens, right? Sometimes they most of them they're oh, run out appeal. They're oh, third umpire. I'm like, nobody's appealing. And this guy's already miles in or something. Or sometimes they're miles out. They're still not sure. And now suddenly this little margin, this guy thinks I'm pretty sure. He's maybe I've never given short run. I really want to give short run. He probably told his baby, he probably told his brother, sister, or ex-girlfriend, or present girlfriend, or present wife, present ex-wife. There can't be a present ex-wife, but okay. So, what do you think about the second match?
Yeah, the second match was a very close one because it had super over, but it shouldn't have gone to super over because I think both the teams were trying to lose the match, but
as hard as possible.
Yeah, as hard as possible, and there were a lot of points where both of them could have sealed the match. Both Delhi Capitals and the Kings 11 Punjab. Delhi Capitals, I think, I think they batted decently, and the Kings 11 started losing wicket all the time, but then Mayank Agarwal played really well, and he was just cruising, and he got a full toss and got out. To that reminded me of that Bangladesh match, the semi-final of T20 World Cup, I think. Yeah, the semi-final of the T20 World Cup. That happened in Bangalore itself. So yeah, and then 2 runs they made in the super over, which was a dampener.
That was amazing. I mean, and then I remember I even saw this guy getting angry. Rahul getting angry because their bowler bowled. I think Shami bowled a wide. And he was like, "Oh, you're bowling wide." I was like, "Dude, what did you think? If you did not bowl a wide, you're gonna win? Is that what you were thinking?" And by the way, a world record happened, which will never ever be broken apparently. Not apparently, it will be very difficult to break because that guy Puran, who got a golden duck. like a double duck.
Yeah. That's very
So
difficult to break.
that's just like you can't get a pair in a T20, which is something like literally almost impossible. Because see, why I'm saying it's impossible, because you can get a super over, which hardly ever happens. But if you score 0, they really don't going to put you in the super over, except if you are Kumble and you're like, oh, you scored 0, you should come in and score another 0, so we can have a world record right there. So I think
Yeah, I
apart
mean,
from that, I
the
don't really see any
choice.
reason.
Yeah, the choices for the batsman was really. I mean, didn't understand the logic. Rahul didn't score too many, and even Nicholas Puran. They could have sent someone who was
Uh,
batting there. Anyway, so yeah, that was.
I was like, we can get on from there, and we're gonna move on to RCB and SRH, because I think we have a lot of expectation of SRH because it's David Warner, a lot of good players, and I think their coach is, is it George, like who
Bayliss.
Bayliss, right? George Bayliss, right? So Bayliss is there, who's just won the World Cup with England. So there's a lot of expectation, and SRH is a very good team as well. So I think they did not perform to their potential on the first day, because RCB made 163, which was fairly chaseable, and SRH, although they made 153 eventually, but I don't think they looked like winning per se. And RCB even had fumbles later on, and so it looks closer than it was. And RCB was very happy. I think RCB was irrationally more happy because RCB still has a lot of mistakes. I'm not saying that in hindsight right now just because you fucked up in the next match, but I was feeling like you don't see, when some team comes out and you see that, these teams, they're like really solid internally. Like Chennai has always won tournaments and they've always qualified, but this time Chennai doesn't look like the same Chennai. They look like the same DNA, which we know that not going to work in this time, and they're not able to evolve. Bombay, although they lost the first match, you felt they screwed up, but you can feel like this Bombay, if it shows up, it's going to blow people away, and which they did obviously in the next match. But I think it was a match for SRH to win, and SRH did not win. So I think it would have been very useful for SRH to win this match, but then whoever was going to win this match would have been very useful for them. So RCB won it, and I just feel there were a few turning points. Kohli, what I'm just using my memory, Kohli did not play well. De Villiers played well. He scored a 50 of like 30 odd deliveries or something on that day.
Yeah,
so that was definitely good. And David Warner got freak run out, right? So that also wasn't useful.
That was not useful, and I think they had a huge collapse, something like a Pakistani collapse, because they lost like 8 wickets or something, I think, for just 15, 20 runs. Because they were cruising, if you remember, Bairstow was playing.
Actually, I'm wrong. Then, they were actually cruising.
They were cruising.
And the 3 wickets were down at, 2 wickets were down at 121, and they eventually get bowled out at 153. So they lost, oh my God, this is like 32 runs and they lose like 8 wickets. So they actually were, so I take my word back. I was completely, my memory is just completely going. So they're actually winning, but they completely got destroyed even after David Warner had that freak run out, because Johnny Bairstow was there. He was hitting everything out of the park, right? So, and then this, they kind of just collapsed.
Yeah, and that's the problem with SRH, which we saw today as well, that they're too top heavy, and once these top 3 batsmen, Bairstow, Warner and Manish Pandey, they get out, there is no one dependable who can bat and make runs. Forget about quick runs, but just stay there on the crease and just keep ticking on. And that is what happened today as well. Once Warner got out, it was they were not able to score at all, and this is one of their biggest problems. They have a very good bowling lineup, but batting wise they are lacking. I think they'll have to get Williamson in as soon as possible.
Yeah, we're gonna get back to that as well. So the next match was between Chennai and very underrated Rajasthan Royals, and everybody's like, we don't know where who's that guy? Stokes is Butler,
including
for some
us.
reason had to Butler had to go into quarantine for whatever reason. I think he probably went home or something. Just wanted to see somebody. Probably wanted to have something physical with his wife or girlfriend or girlfriend's girlfriend, or probably more like Shane Warne with like a lot of people. So when he came back here, they put him. I think he's going to be back next. Hopefully doesn't really matter because they have interesting foreign players. So, and apparently everybody is wicketkeeper in their team. Sanju Samson, Robin Cheese Thapa, and and they don't even wicket keep. They don't even let them wicket keep. And then there's Butler. Everybody's like, I'm a wicket keeper. Apparently, Jofra Archer is also a wicket keeper. So it's like it's just so that was underrated. But we've been constantly saying that Chennai is not the same team, and if Chennai is put under pressure, they're gonna melt. And these guys really put them under pressure by putting 216 on the board, and 216 should have never been put on the board, apart from the last over meltdown completely. But it was always going to be a very high score. And then I think it was more flattering at the end to see that Chennai ended up making 200. They never deserved to be that 200, and it was also, you have to understand that Dhoni hit 3 sixes back to back in the last over when it was already too late and there was no pressure, and he just whipped them, which was also Tom Curran. It's an IPL of brothers and sisters. Like, there's no sisters, but they're IPL of cousins and brothers.
Dhoni is trying the same formula which he applies in matches where he wants to take the match deeper. Here he's just trying to keep up with the net run rate so that they can eventually qualify somehow. That's why I think he just tried to get close as the actual score. So that's why I think once the winning possibility was out of the question, then he thought, okay, let's just try to get as close as possible. And that's what
winning possibility was never out of the question. He said they never tried in the first place. Also, the only thing they will qualify is for number 7, which I predicted them out of 8, and they will probably get away from the wooden spoon, which you have predicted, thanks to the run rate. That's all they'll qualify for. So it was a good day, and I'm very happy that my favorite Steven Smith, who people are like, oh, we don't know he's done enough in the T20 things, and so I don't know he should even be the captain, because your favorite Gambhir, I happened to see his fucking podcast. He's like, oh, he should not be, because if he's captain, and how does he speak? Was he born on equator? Like, what kind of accent is that in the first place? Because it's not here, neither there. And then he's sitting on this chair he bought for like 55,000 from eBay or something. It's like, can't you just sit on a normal chair? This is like some royal chair from GOT, with like, except it's not from GOT. And he just says stuff like, he's like Steven Smith. I mean, if you click on it, he speaks apparently on Click Info or something to these people. He's like, if you have to get Steven Smith, then if he's the captain, then you have to make him play. You rather make Josh Buttler. Josh Buttler is not playing, you moron, in the first place. So, and Steven Smith is a real captain. He's a captain. This is what it comes to. And whenever he's been captain of this team or the other team, which was exactly the same thing, there's changed the names, right? So he had done very, very well. You just somehow you just forget about all that stuff. Just go back to complaining about Virat Kohli, okay? So
and it's a very interesting matchup, CSK versus Rajasthan Royals, because those are the only two teams to be ever disqualified from IPL. So
absolutely, the team which were disqualified with.
And history repeated itself. Last year, Dhoni got very angry on the umpires. He even walked inside the stadium. And similar thing happened in that match, the last match between CSK and Rajasthan Royals, where there was Tom Curran was batting and he was given out, and then umpire suddenly thought that let's check it out whether he is actually out. And do you remember that? And then Dhoni.
I definitely remember that.
Dhoni was. So Dhoni was really angry that why you were checking it. You should have done it earlier. They don't even have any reviews left, and it was clear that he has not taken the catch, and the ball had bounced in front of him. And the funniest part was the commentators were continuously saying that no, Dhoni wouldn't have known this. That's why he's not saying that I have not taken the catch. He would have felt that he has taken the catch. I mean, the constant justification of the commentators about everything Dhoni does in the match, in any match, it's really jarring to see. And I think we were talking about that it's like a worshipping kind of thing, which the commentators are doing, which they should be neutral, they should be fair. So,
I think he probably got all of them the jobs, and now they'll probably get booted out. I think at the end of the day, instead of doing fist pumping, they're probably touching his feet or something.
So it's
just been embarrassing. I've never seen anybody do something like even Kevin Peterson. I mean, like, come on, for heaven's sake. I mean, I have a lot of respect for Kevin Peterson, but the way he's commentating is just like, first of all, his commentary is terrible. And then all the Dhoni stuff. I mean, just come on, man, because he's being so diplomatic, and all his life he's been not at all diplomatic. He lost his position.
Yeah.
all his life he's lived like this, and now he's become all this cautious person. So I'm like, yeah, I just kind of like it's just terrible. But I think at the end of the day, people just realize that they have a contract and they want to get more
Yeah.
money out of this thing. And I just find it very. I mean, that's a topic for another day. But I'm just like Kevin Peterson. I mean, but it's just everybody. But Kevin Peterson is known for somebody being like outspoken and say shit. I mean, even him, like, it's just terrible, man. It's just kind of terrible. So next match we're coming on to was Kolkata Knight Riders, which was their first match. Mumbai Indians was second match, and it was very evident Mumbai Indians were just out and out superior. And for again this time, Rohit Sharma did not have any feet movement, but he did get a lot of sixes in this match, and he 6 of them, and he did get 80 eventually, somehow getting out to Mavi. I did not know this guy existed till this match happened, and then I thought he was pretty much their best bowler. I now have the matches open, because before I just said something which sounded stupid, so I was relying on my memory, and now I have he bowled very well. He was the most economical bowler. Not the most. Narayan was the most economical, but he got 2 wickets and all. So that was, and he was also got the top wicket, so it was pretty good, because he got the Quinton de Kock and Rohit Sharma out, and the fat and skinny guy. So which looks like Lauren Hardy coming into bat. Quinton de Kock didn't get going, so I think just be prepared for the next couple of matches. So he's going to be like really kicking some ass. He's going to cock you out of the matches. And so I think there was no doubt about this match. Kolkata looked rusty, as everybody should be rusty, but I think you generally have an upper hand if Mumbai's already played, and Mumbai has so much experience, and Mumbai is a top team. So I think Mumbai, it was pretty much, it happened exactly, it should have happened, which should have happened in the first match, but Mumbai was like, okay, now we're going to dominate, and I think Mumbai is going to dominate the tournament as well, along with Delhi. Do you have any words on this one, or we can move?
I mean, this is just a small word that we always expect Mumbai to come back strongly, and that's what happened. And KKR is lacking, and we're going to talk about the match which happened today, where they won. But I think in that match their bowling was lacking, but that's what they improved in today's match. And I think Mumbai will get better and better, because most of the players were in the quarantine. They were not playing anywhere. So that's it.
Yeah, so I think the next match is RCB versus Punjab Kings 11, whom I have actually pitched as number 8 to finish Wooden Spoon, but it's likely now that they'll probably not finish Wooden Spoon, but I'm still fingers crossed, and I think it's possible, maybe on run rate, so they will beat Chennai. So see, I think, as I always said, KL Rahul is definitely a very good batsman, and in fact a much better than, just in between good and great batsman. But that day, when you give people so many chances, I mean, one of the best fielders of all time, Virat Kohli, drops 2 absolute sitters. And after that, it's just like, this guy just completely goes ballistic, because there's nothing to lose now. It's like 2-3 overs to go. You just have to put bat to ball. And if you don't, then there's like, they still had like 7 batters to come in. So anybody can do that. So there was nothing to lose. There was not like 15 overs there and then 6 wickets have fallen. And if you go after it, then you might not even complete the over. That was not going to happen. Then they put 206 on the board. And these guys, the Padikkal, who played very well in the first match, gets out in the very first over. Finch never gets going, makes 20 or 21 runs, balls. Philippe, or whoever this guy is, definitely seems like a very good keeper, but he came and he made a duck. Virat Kohli made 1, and then, jokes were flying. AB de Villiers tried to help, but eventually he also made like 38, but at least he was actually trying to hit. And after that, it was just a very sorry story. You can say whatever, but this was terrible. Like, this was as terrible as it gets. When you lose a T20 match by 25 runs, that's terrible. These guys lost the match by 97 runs, which is just 3 short of a century. And I don't know. I got nothing to say. I think this is something which has happened with RCB over and over again. And I think RCB really needs to pull their socks up and just make sure that when they go out, if Virat Kohli himself is dropping the ball a little bit, I don't think he's doing it genuinely. But what happens when you always, when you're like, Australian team is there and they're destroying everybody and they won 4-0 in the test series, no matter what they say, in the 5th match, you can't have the same intensity. It just changes. Just the way I say, like, Dhoni is retired, so it's like, you can mentally switch off. You just take a back seat. No matter what you do, you just have a different gear. And I think Virat Kohli in a different stage of his life, and kid is coming through, and somehow, I mean, I'm not sure that he needs to. I mean, I don't think it's permanent, but just for now, I think it's just a little bit.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem as intense as he would be. I mean, I've never seen Virat Kohli drop those 2 catches. I've never seen that. Like, that's just something that unheard of, completely unheard of. And but I think he's gonna, as long as his attitude does not change. I don't know why it will change. But I think if he just, I think next couple of matches we'll see. I wanna see a little bit more and see how the intensity is. I will watch the match properly, literally just focusing on him. I'll be sitting with Mr. Nags. By the way, I found out about this guy, Mr. Nags, and this guy is really good. I think I want to do something like that. Yeah, like a Mr. Crack or something. I'll probably dress up. We'll probably make our podcast more popular. People are not watching it. People are like, oh, it's nice, but we want to watch it. So maybe if I dress up, you also put this thing, and we'll have green screen. We'll have like all the cheerleaders jumping around at the back and wearing burqas and stuff, but burqas moving around. Oh, people are offended, huh? Or maybe they're wearing the Saudi Sheikh costume and like their stuff is moving around everywhere. So I'll do something. I was very impressed by Mr. Nag, just to let you know. We'll talk about this later offline, but I was really impressed because you know me, I do not like Indian comedians and I am very biased about them. I was just think they're bad quality, but this guy there's something about him because I knew you will know him, but I think this guy I just chanced upon him. I was like, wow, this guy is good. Like he just, like when you do the stereotype, he just does the stereotype the perfect way you can do stereotypes. The same thing which irritates me when somebody else is, this guy just absolutely nails it. Peas. We want peas. Like, put me on your WhatsApp group, please. Virat and AB, do that.
And,
so I think
the funniest thing was in one video he told Virat that congratulations. So Virat said, for what? He said, you know what you did during the lockdown.
So yeah, that kind of stuff is just it's just cool, right? I just like it. Also that fact that we are also, that's what I always complain. We need to evolve. We need to have that kind of humor. And yeah. So next match we've already talked a lot about Delhi Capitals. I put Delhi Capital to finish at the top, but probably miss out on the champions, on the absolute winning, and they will be in the final as well. Probably will be beaten by RCB. That's my prediction. But even Bikram, you had them to finish second or third or something. Third, right? So we have very high expectations of them. I'm not sure the first match was the way they should have played, but in the second match, also Chennai also kind of like just didn't do anything really. And Delhi Capitals can actually do more than this. I think they can still do a lot more because this is a team which can consistently make anything between 180 to 230. And that's something, because look at the batting lineup. I mean, Prithvi Shaw, I mean, because as we said, like he's like a love child of Tendulkar and Viren Sehwag. And now I've heard a lot of other people say, oh, he plays like Viren Sehwag. Yeah, it's obvious. Then Shikhar Dhawan, Rishabh Pant, Shreyas Iyer, Stoinis. I mean, Hayat Meyer, who's probably drops catches, like he's like, Kohli dropped, so I want to drop dollies as well. So he also dropped like absolute sitters. And he was like, he can't even see the ball anymore. So... And then even, so I feel, and their bowling lineup seems very interesting. And plus this other guy whose name I'm not able to pronounce right now, although it's spelled as Notze or something, but I think it's Noitz or something. Noye. Yeah, okay, like Hansi Cronje. So Noye. So this guy was just actually very, very lethal and good. Plus also because he's newer, it will take some time for people to understand how is he bowling. Newer as in like he's just come into the fold and most people don't know, and it's just too quick. So I think
and Ashwin is also fine, it seems, so he can be back.
Yeah, and even if Ashwin not playing, then this guy Amit Mishra comes in, and Amit Mishra was brilliant. By the way, I don't know, I have a question. Was he wearing a wig? Why would you wear a wig anyway? But it looked like he had a lot more hair and it looked fake for whatever reason. But I was watching on my
I think he is clean shaven and he has grown his hair probably, or maybe he would have done. Yeah, I think he has done some
something
weaving.
Looked weird. Some like weaving has happened, right?
Yeah, like
it just looked weird. It was like, what is going on? I was watching on my mobile phone, but it was like something just struck me. But again, it's like whoever gets like injured or something, they get somebody else, which is even better. Yeah. I think that's it's looking good, man. It's looking, and they got Hazelwood as well. So yeah, it's just
Hazelwood is not in DC.
Sorry, I mixed up. So I'm not Hazelwood. So they got all the Patel, Akshar Patel is like underrated, but I think he's just somebody who knows his business now. He's like I know what I'm doing and I'm gonna get the job done. So Rabada, Mishra, Avesh, and he said like
Avesh Khan is also good. I felt
Ashwin is also gonna come back. Apparently all their bowlers are named with A apart from Rabada. It's like AR Patel, Noye, Avesh Khan, Amit Mishra, and then the guy who got Ashwin also.
Yeah.
So it seems like everybody's from A. I think that's probably they're doing something like this, like in India we do that. Your name should start with sound. So I think it was very obvious that Delhi was completely superior to Chennai. Unless Chennai changes their mindset. They already have problems with the team. We've talked about it a lot. But I think main problem is the mindset, because as Dhoni says or anybody says, you can't change, like somebody's injured and somebody's gone home. Either it's Raina or Harbhajan or somebody's injured. You can't change that. But you can change your mindset, the way you approach the game, right? And you can come to bat at number 4, not number 10. If you're a batsman, like, literally you can't send Sam Curran all the time. He's like, beta tu chala ja. Beta tu chala ja. Okay,
And
Papa, thank you.
And during the interview, the post-match interview, he said that he blamed the slow start. Obviously, if you have Murali Vijay opening, what do you expect
have test
of him?
batsmen who don't even play in the test anymore because they're so bad.
Yeah. So
then you just of course it's going to happen, right?
And with him,
then you put Gaikwad, who has no confidence, and you just randomly put Gaikwad, and apparently Gaikwad is always under pressure. It's like Jesus Christ.
He's under
don't
pressure.
put him like that. It's just guy is obviously it's not working out. So you need to realize that, but he doesn't realize it. So I think that was a bad match.
And that's why he needs to come earlier to release pressure from these guys, because he anyway takes time to settle, right? So
I've told you hundreds of times, this guy doesn't listen to anybody. He's God. You keep saying he come. Everybody keeps saying, but this guy doesn't want to come anyway. He's like, I'm not gonna come. He just now all we see is him behind that screen door, the screen window, and then behind the screen wall, and he's always like trying to warming up for like 16 overs. He's like, oh, I'm ready. He's like, I can see him, like he's warming up. He's like, okay, I'll come. Then people are like, are you going? Like, no, you go. You go. I see, Chennai cannot have somebody like Mr. Nags, because they're just too stuck up, right? They're too stuck up, because this guy will destroy Dhoni, right? Unlike, they're not going to say, hey Dhoni, what are you doing? You're taking a nap, huh? One more nap? Do you want something? You want nappy also? Why don't you go out to play? Huh? Who's going to bat? Somebody else. You put little kids out there, Sam Curran. And this time, apparently Sam Curran, they didn't even send Sam Curran.
They didn't,
he came after Dhoni or something. And Dhoni didn't anything. And this guy, this time he got out, didn't even wait for the umpire's call. He's like, fuck it, I'm just going to go. Time. It's just enough. And now coming on to today's match, again another boring match. The last, I think, 3 matches have been very boring, because first few matches were amazing, and then I think it's just been a trend that's going backward. Like first 3 matches were very good, then it was like okay, and then it just gotten worse and worse. Yesterday there was no competition between CSK. They just pretty much gave up, like literally gave up. And it was 175. It was not like 275 or 215. It was 175. They just gave up. And today SRH, I think they did not start terribly, but once Johnny Bairstow did not get going, and then he got out to Cummins, and Cummins had a really terrible first match, which he went for like gazillion runs, right? And this time Cummins, I'm just checking, he went for like 4 hours 19 for 1. I mean, and he got rid of Johnny Bairstow, and I think he just bowled out directly. I think first 4 overs or something.
I think he bowled 3 overs.
He didn't come at the end row, so he just he got him done. And then David Warner always stuck around for 36. But as I've been complaining constantly about David Warner, dude, you making 36 or 46 or 40, 56 or 46, it's not going to do any good, because you're the person who's supposed to get you the momentum. And when Johnny Bairstow has not played, you got to go for it, because I'm looking at it like this team looks like, from a hitting point of view, the weakest of all. Because after Johnny Bairstow, Warner and Pandey, I'm not going to expect Vridhiman Saha or Nabi or Abhishek Sharma, who I don't even know who these people are. So to go and hit. So it looks very, in fact, now it just looks very wafer thin. So I think they need to get that guy in. Who's going to leave from here then? Who is the...
Nabi is
international player.
Nabi is international, so probably
Nabi has to go, right?
Yeah, probably, because they have so many bowling options. So I mean, Nabi is a very good bowler, but they really need a batsman in the middle, and they can't.
Somebody can hold. So this guy can go ballistic, right? Johnny Bairstow going to go ballistic anyway, so it doesn't matter. But it's David Warner trying to play the sheet anchor role. It's like, seriously, you just need to go for it. So let Kane Williamson make that 57 or 47, and that will be useful. You make 57 or 20. That's what we need.
And I think KKR, I think I was telling the same thing during the prediction podcast that KKR, there are a lot of unknowns because there are a lot of Indian bowlers who I don't know whether they will perform. But today they showed all the Indian bowlers actually bowled really well. Shivam Mavi, Nagarkoti, both are coming from under 19 setup. They won the World Cup, under 19 World Cup in New Zealand, and then we had this guy Varun Chakrabarti, which you keep telling me about. that
Finally, yeah. I'm sorry, I completely forgot. I was thinking I'm gonna throw it on his face. Like, this is the Varun Chakrabarti guy. He's weird, right? Do you notice, right? He's a very weird bowler.
Yeah.
It will take some time for people to pick him because he's like, he looked like one of those, those stupid those bowlers who used to do very well, like Larson or something in One Day International in 1990s or something, from New Zealand or something. I'm getting his name wrong.
Okay.
Or something like Stoinis, not that this Stoinis, the other guy, Stennis. What was his name, the New Zealand bowler? They just ball these dollies, which is not fast, which is not slow, which does not spin, and it's like you're bowling at like a Ganguly or somebody like that. And then, but I think one thing different is, like, he looks like completely innocuous. He looks like completely harmless, but then he actually is doing leg spin and he's bowling googlies and other stuff as well. And he's like mixing it up, so he becomes very difficult to play. There was that guy name was Larson. He was Gavin Larson. He was one of the greatest one-day bowlers, and all he used to bowl was like, he just come in, he would like 122, 123, but he will keep like pegging away in at that same length, which is just going to be annoying. Now I think people would have gotten the hang of him, but at that time he was just very annoying bowler, which always give economy of like 3.7 or something. He'll always get like 37 in 10 overs and he'll be like taking 1 wicket. He's like, yeah, I'm Gavin Larson, I'm the legend. So but so this is finally you saw Varun Chakrabarti, and he, by the way, took his first wicket also.
Yeah.
He was good.
And his first wicket was David Warner. Yeah, he was really good.
And David Warner, what a wicket also. What a soft dismissal that was. I mean, once David Warner got out, I knew, I felt something. But then I'm not somebody who's like, okay, anything is possible. But then later on you realize, because David Warner got out that particular point in time. And then 142, because I've seen a lot of teams struggling earlier, but eventually towards the end, some hook or crook, either last over or something happens, they actually take the score over. And then this team scored like this is the lowest score by far in this IPL. And I think it just really played to KKR's hand. They were like, okay, they already were less rusty, and you gave the confidence, and they came in. I think they knew exactly what they need to. Once you make 142, you're really depending on a big collapse. I think that didn't happen, and they have like really good players.
They have a lot of bits and pieces. I mean, a lot of players who can bat. Cummins showed it in the last match when he hit a lot of sixes or made very quick runs, and then apparently Shivam Mavi and Nagarkoti can also bat pretty well.
Yeah, and people need to realize that just because you get the first wicket of Sunil Narayan, it's not really a wicket, because this guy is not supposed to be batting in the first place. He's a bowler, and he's just there to it's like a pinch hitter you put out there. So when you lose his wicket, you still realize Shubman Gill is there, Nitish Rana is there, Karthik is there, Owen Morgan's there, and then Russell was still supposed to come in. Pat Cummins just hit sixes after sixes. So like, as you're saying, like, everybody's a batsman apart from Kuldeep Yadav, I believe. So so it was fairly neat performance, and thoroughly deserved. And because both of us backed SRH, because we expected that eventually they'll win, but they were nowhere there. And I think it was very evident that KKR deserved it from the very beginning to the end. So that was the roundup for this thing. I think few interesting matches. I think just quickly go through the next couple of matches that are coming up tomorrow. I think I'm really looking forward to this match, which is Rajasthan Royals versus Punjab Kings 11, and I am backing Rajasthan Royals again, because I think let's not just jump to conclusions just because this guy had one amazing match and all, and Kings 11 is really different. Their coach is still Kumble, their captain is still Rahul, who is a very good player, but let's put them under pressure, and I want to see what happens then. And I really hope Rajasthan Royals put them under pressure, and Rajasthan Royals wins the toss. I want Rajasthan Royals to take batting and absolutely go nail these people, put 200 on the board or as high a score as possible. And I want to see anything 170 onwards. I want to see how these guys going to chase. I just don't trust these people to chase that number.
Yeah, and I think I have the same problem with this guy Rahul, and this has been very like a very evident trend that he just makes a lot of mistakes. Even in the RCB match, if you remember, he did make 80 runs before giving those two chances, but even in those 80 runs, I think first 30-40 runs he was not in control. A lot of edges going inside, then upper edges and all those things happened, and this is how he gets out. He always makes those 20-30 runs and then he gets out. So and their team, like SRH, is heavily dependent upon these two, the first two batsmen. If once Gale comes in, maybe their dynamic will change. But right now they only have these couple of batsmen who can really score quickly. Apart from that I don't see any other batsmen who can come in and score quickly or like keep scoring. And this is what happened in the first match itself, Kings 11's match, where with RCB, sorry, not RCB, this guy, when Mayank, Delhi Capitals, and only because of Mayank Agarwal they almost won. And even in the RCB match, only because of Rahul they reached that score. So there's no team contribution, just individual brilliance, and this is what happened last season as well. So yeah, I am backing Rajasthan Royals on this one. And the next match
top
is
the league, man. Next match is very tough. I'm actually going for RCB because RCB needs to win, and because it could go either way. Obviously, Mumbai technically should be favorites, and I just feel that RCB needs to win this match, and I think RCB really needs to win this match. They should win this match, but I won't be surprised if Mumbai completely destroys them or just wins it. But I'm going for RCB. If you ask me for a real reason, there's no real reason. I'm just saying that RCB should win. This is T20, anybody can win. I have to pick one team, and I'm going with RCB. So let's see what happens. And next match the same way. It's DC versus SRH. I'm gonna pick SRH because SRH lost 2 matches back to back, and I think at some point in time, they have to begin winning, and that's the only reason I'm picking SRH. But again, DC is way too strong. But yeah, those are my picks for Rajasthan Royals, RCB, and SRH in the next 3 matches. And let's see how that goes, because Chennai is the Lord's team, and they're the house team. So now they have a 7-day break apparently because they played 3 matches whenever they felt like. They were like, oh, we get the first 3 matches, then we take a long break so we can come back and chill. So yeah, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, same. I think for tomorrow's match or today's match, if you're watching this podcast tomorrow. So I think Rajasthan Royals and for the Mumbai and RCB match, I'm also picking RCB because they are deeply hurt, and I think they'll come back strongly. And for the third match between Delhi Capitals and SRH, I'm going to pick Delhi Capitals because I really like that team, and I feel that SRH has a lot of problems in their batting. So it will be interesting to see how they go about it.
Fair enough. Till now, you picked 4 winners and 4 losers. I picked 5 winners and 3 losers. So let's see how this goes from now.
Keeping score, huh?
Of course, he keeps score. We always keep score. We're Indian people. We are Mr. Nags. We always keep scores. All right. On that note, because it's gone around 40 minutes, so people will be like, "Oh, this is too long. I have ADD. Don't you know everybody has ADD? What is wrong with you guys? How come this podcast is so long?" Because we had to talk about 8 matches and within 40 minutes, and then we had to talk 3 more matches. What is wrong with you? And also we talked about Mr. Nags. And if people have not idea who Mr. Nags is, just go check him out, because I did not know till today who was Mr. Nags, and now I feel like, what was I doing for all my life? It was just weird. So this has been good. You guys have been good. We'll continue. There'll be a lot of weeks. There are 56 matches altogether. Just been 8 matches. So we're going to keep annoying you, and you keep watching the podcast. Write to us whatever you feel like. We can actually, if you have a suggestion, if you have a recommendation, if you want us to do something, please go ahead and tell us. And till then, enjoy your weekend. And I'm sure you're enjoying, because you're watching this on Sunday or later, depending wherever you are. Keep enjoying and keep doing whatever you're doing. If you like, subscribe, get everybody, all your pets, Dadaji, everybody to subscribe, and then we'll take it from there. And we do not have any cooking channels, so we can't recommend you that. So yeah, but later on we might have something. So we will.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. Till then, that's me, Gav, and that's Bikram, and a big sign off from our end. Take care. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.